All right. Hey, what's your first and last name?
Miles Cobb.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
All right. So today I'm just gonna be asking you like a few questions about like, your social experience in and outside of lab. So to get started, what ethnicity do you identify as?
African American, black, you know, whatever you want to call it, blackity black. I don't really care. There are many different names for it, but yeah,
Sure. Do you feel like you've ever been socially limited or benefited based on your ethnicity?
definitely more benefited than limited. I mean, limited really just, when you're at lab. I mean, we have BSA, we have plenty of black faculty, you have plenty of black spaces. Now, not all black kids use all those black spaces and use all the resources available to them. Many people complain about not having enough when they really just don't use what's available to them. But I feel like for me, I've been able to take full advantage of having a very unique experience and unique community here at Lab,
Sure.
being black and being African American. So
Do you ever feel like the stereotypes surrounding black people have ever like limited you?
more socially than academically. Academically, I really don't. I mean, besides the occasional, you confuse two kids' names, or like, it's the slavery question. The entire class without looking at you, all kind of look at you to answer, stuff like that. But I feel like that for me is expected. Whereas socially, it was definitely limiting. I remember way back in middle school, there's a thing where it's like, if you don't listen to rap music, you're not black.
Sure.
You don't know all these underground SoundCloud rappers, you ain't black.
Sure.
But my blackness was tested every day. Nowadays, it's fine. No one really cares that much.
Right.
But yeah,
All right. So, kind of going off that, do you ever feel like you've ever been socially limited or benefited based off the way you look?
off the way that I look.
Not just like race, just like height,
Oh yeah.
anything like that.
I'll say this for sure. I used to be a pretty chubby kid back then. I'm currently 175. I used to weigh 170 back in middle school, and I was 5'6".
Sure.
Now, and I've slimmed out, but I'm like that. I got picked on for being chubby. I got of course, like the nipple flips and all that. Like anything that you can think of that happened to a fat kid, that basically happened to me. I hated going into the boys' locker room because something was bound to happen. Hated the swim unit because I hated taking my shirt off.
Sure.
To swim and stuff like that. But
Sure.
stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like besides that, the way I look hasn't really impacted much.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
All right.
So first, I'm gonna give you the definition of objectification. Objectification is the act of treating a person as an object or a thing. So, do you ever feel like you've been objectified, whether it's sexualization or being treated without regard to emotion
Just in my life or at Lab specifically.
in your life?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There have been certain spaces where I'm the only black person, and I really do feel like that token black person. It's just there to kind of like reaffirm everything that people say.
Sure.
At Lab, I wouldn't really say I've ever experienced that.
Sure.
Lab, I felt very comfortable, being in my own skin, being around people. Even if I'm the only black person in the friend group, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like everyone's kind of just there having fun. Whereas, I've been in some spaces. I played golf a lot when I was younger. I played for 15 years now. I'm part of a program for 12. And I went to Merit Club, which is, world-renowned kind of, golf club and stuff. Lots of old white men.
Sure.
So I was there, met this one black dude, kind of youngish. He was like mid-40s. We're chilling, we're having fun. We get assigned to a group, and it's me, this 40-year-old black dude, and 3 white men, and 2 of them are wearing Make America Great Again hats.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of looked at him, he looked at me, and we were just like, yep, it's gonna be a long day. And I felt like in that moment, they kind of, every time they would say stuff, they would kind of give you that look like, do you approve of that? Okay, we're good. And I'm like, I hated that feeling.
Right.
Sexually, I mean, not really.
Sure.
So,
All right. So switching gears, how long have you been at Lab?
my entire life, nursery 3
Wow.
through senior year. Yeah.
So do you ever feel like you've been socially limited or benefited based on how long you've been at Lab, or that's like pre-existing like stereotypes or stigmas about you from when you were like 3 years old?
I will say, it definitely has its benefits. I would say I know damn near every single person in my grade extremely well. I've known these people. I've known some of these people literally since nursery 3. I've known them my entire life, basically. However, there are some limitations, and some of those limitations are, your personality.
Sure.
You kind of work to build this persona that people, come to enjoy. It's like, can't really break out. Lab's also not the biggest school, so when you know the same people since nursery 3 through senior year, it's like, man, I kind of want to meet some new folk.
For real.
So,
All right. And then finally, Miles, what is one thing you want people to know about you?
that I'm trying to be more spontaneous, just with stuff that I do. and I'm not always a happy-go-lucky person, and sometimes, the majority of the time, I'm not actually. Um, and that I'm always going to be nice to you, but there's a lot more going on underneath the surface than people would think. So,
Cool. I appreciate that. Thank you.
got you.